Hello again, and welcome to another Azure Greg stream. Tonight I have the illustrious Scott McCormick. Scott, welcome to the show. How are you?
Fantastic, Greg. It's a pleasure being on the show.
Yeah, no,
I've been watching a
yeah,
few of the
yes,
series, and it's
yeah. Thanks for coming
good.
on because you're always good at supporting stuff. So thanks for coming on. I wanted to get you on, so thanks for coming on. Let me just say hello to Simon. Mr. Lee is on, so say hello to Simon.
Hello, Simon.
How are we? So you're good. That's good. Good. How's your week going so far? Because it's only Monday, but how's your Monday been?
Had a bit of an outage this morning, so I walked straight in, straight into an outage at work. So yeah, that was kind of yeah. We done some maintenance on Friday. And it was all well, and I went in this morning a bit of an outage. So
Oh no, not
but
good.
yeah, well, it was a quick fix. So it was and it was all up, and it was
Good.
all downhill from there. It's fantastic. So yeah, that was fantastic. It's a good
Good.
start
Good.
to the week. So yeah,
Yeah, hello to Nick and Susheta as well, and Simon, obviously. Before we go any further, introduce yourself, Simon. I think I called you
Scott.
Simon then. Scott. I read Simon on this.
Yeah, because sounds on
Yeah,
there.
introduce
But
yourself, Scott, and then tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
if everyone don't doesn't know me, my name's Scott McCormick. Infrastructure stroke cloud engineer. I've been a member of the community in like for about 3 years. Um, if you don't know my Twitter handle, it's Scott WMCC. I think what one of the guys will put it in. Yep, Greg
There you
as well
go.
done.
Right.
And so I've kind of been in the community, encouraging everyone, and the community pushed me. Funnily enough, I kind of started in going down the AWS route, and then I was getting finding no user groups, so I've kind of went
Oh,
over
really?
to Azure, and I'm still stuck, and I'm in Azure now. So yeah, that's all about me, you know.
Ah, that's
Yeah,
interesting. So, you wanted to do AWS first, and there wasn't really much of a community.
yeah, that's right. It was about 3 years ago. It was I had a fortunate during my work that I managed to get out to the States to work for 4 months in Washington DC.
Mm-hmm.
And I got chatting to a couple of guys, and there's as you do, get chatting what you do. I work in IT, and they will say, "Oh yeah, I work in AWS." I says, "Oh, so what's that?" I says, "Oh, it's a kind of cloud." Um, so I'm going on my phone googling it. What's AWS? So I said, the guys said, "Oh yeah, you should get into it," and kind of just getting chatting. So when I came back from there, it was I
Something got
started doing
interested.
some AWS. So
Are
and
you
I got
glad? There wasn't any community in AWS. Meeting this guy got you interested in it.
Yeah, that's just it's like anything you say. If someone come up to say, "Oh, you should try this, try that," and
Hmm.
you kind of dabble. So I kind of got back, and it was I seen the it's like a year free this, a free that. So well, that can be a good thing. So I good
Yeah.
evening,
Hi,
and
Dimitar.
then
Yeah.
so that at the time, obviously, I was more a kind of hardware engineer
Mm-hmm.
from like most of my career, and I thought I was going away from like the kind of. I thought, well, I need something to kind of
A change of scenery.
because I was getting like 20 odd years being a hardware engineer, doing the grunting in data centers at 3 o'clock in the morning, getting servers up, and
You got all the hard
so
work.
all the yeah, that was kind of yes. I thought, you know what, I thought, well, let's kind of start to that. I got as far as I would say I was about 95% through the material,
Mm-hmm.
and then I was like on when that's when I was kind of got more involved in Twitter, and then I
Yeah.
seen and then what I'd stumbled across John Lynn's
Finland.
and yeah, I don't know how he was the first to, and
Do
he
you want
was
to
like the and John was like, oh wait, yeah, this I run the Welsh Azure group. I said, oh,
Mm-hmm.
okay. So I went along the first one I went through, and that was like I was like
What was
two.
was that
I th-
before lockdown or during lockdown?
I
I don't know.
think it was when I came back. I came back in 2019. So I think it must have been during lockdown actually,
Like,
because when lockdown started, like March, when it March
mhm. Yeah.
2020 or something like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
and then I went on it, and it was I thought, you know what, this is well over my head. I'm like, I'm drowning here, yeah. And honestly, John, see this 2 hours. I was like,
Not got a clue.
not got a bloody clue. And
But that's a good thing. That means you've got room to learn.
you know what, this is like, you might as well been another language. And he says, you know what, that's what it's a good like you've actually lasted the whole 2 hours. It's just like, yeah, you didn't get bored, so I can, so you know
Well,
what,
at least that didn't put you off, you know?
not at all. I thought, you know what, let me, and then started my Azure journey. So, and I'm still here.
Good,
I'm
good,
still
good.
here, yeah.
So,
So, yeah.
so how
So,
did you go about? Did you start with AZ Fundamentals as the 900 one? Is that how you started, or did you
I
jump?
guess, yeah. What I did, I started well in my old when I used to work for Fujitsu. They
Mhm.
had when I came back, they had a thing called the Radar program, which is more for like grads.
Okay,
So I said to my manager, what about if I go on this? It says if I apply for this, and she said, um, a lot. It's mostly for grads, and I says, well, I'm sure I'll learn something on there, and then I can,
good start.
yeah,
Mhm.
like start. So at the time, I had I had a
Oh, aye.
Pluralsight license anyway. So I was like doing a little bit, and he says we'll go on, and they looked at my place, Scott, Jesus, Scott, look at the mountain. So I kind of doing like 2 hours a day,
Just in your
six
own time.
like 6 days a week, yeah, doing
Oh,
anything from VMware to um, server, and so I was always in that mentoring of also like learning anyway, yeah. So
yeah.
funnily enough, I went onto the radar program and it was a choice of Azure or AWS. And I picked AWS. Right,
Why
so
did
I
you pick
picked,
that?
huh?
Why did you pick AWS? Just for something different, or?
No, that was because it's straight off of coming straight back from the States. It was like
Oh, I
we came
see, see,
back
I
in
see.
November and it was like this is January. So I
Right,
didn't
got
know.
it.
That was the first time I heard about Azure, so yeah, I went on to AWS and I started doing the thing and it was like, oh, okay. So and that's when as far as I got, and then obviously when I said about meeting John,
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
got, and I went back in halfway through the radar program and I said to them, I'm switching.
Right, okay.
I'm switching to Azure.
What did they say about that?
Yeah, they were kind of just I say, well, you can do the bit of the both. So I
Mhm.
kind of dabble in and out and just
Yeah.
to so I know a fair bit about um, Azure
AWS.
in AWS as well. So it
Very
kind
good.
of, but mostly my dabbling is in Azure as such, but also kind of get in and out AWS anyway. So just
Mhm.
to kind of see what's.
For
I find
somebody,
it funny with all the bloody names and all that. That's what
aye, well, yeah, that kind of
that's
took me off.
yeah, that's kind of puts you off. He goes, well, what's this service? There's bloody Lambda or
Goldfish and
Cloud,
stuff like
Cloud Formation, and
that. Yeah.
yeah, and well, and there's one Rea, is it Snowflake? That's another new
Snowflake
one.
CD. Yeah, yeah.
AWS Snowflake, and kind of
Yeah, they've got interesting names, that's for sure.
yeah. So it's like more like kind of and so, but it's a kind of lot of stuff in AWS is not as good as within Azure, and it's kind of works both ways and all that,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and
There's a
kind of
good
that and
community
that.
of people do Azure. I think AWS is catching up with that stuff.
Yeah,
I
kind of
think it
the
was.
more to that, and then
Yeah.
obviously I kind of stuck with all that. Same with um, started getting into the Welsh user group, and then and you start kind of doing the network, and it's really important. And I know you guys emphasize about networking,
Yeah.
and it's still oh yeah definitely. Um, if you're shy, this is a kind of the Azure community. If you're shy, is just to get yourself out there, and you'll certainly come out your shell. I'm not that shy type of person anyway, so I,
I didn't know.
I can talk to anyone. So that's that.
So
Yes, I
you were
can.
doing a bit of AWS and Azure at the same time. Was that not
Yeah,
confusing, or was that quite good fun?
I was kind of when I started doing the AZ 700. There's no the so that's coming. That's
We'll
later on
talk
if
about
you
that in
hold.
a minute.
We'll talk about that later on if you hold tight. Yeah. Yeah. So I started like doing once I done the AZ 900, I kind of switched away from AWS just in case I was getting the kind of mixed up.
Also, yeah, yeah.
So yeah, kind of and the started doing the AZ 900 down through Pluralsight, and at the time, when my first journey was with Azure was the cloud skills with Mike Pfeiffer, and so I actually signed up for the 103, I think it was the back end. So I was kind of that, and I think I started it in the January, but come the March, it was moving over to the 104.
Okay, cool.
That was the kind of,
I
thought, well, at the time, is this a total different exam? Bear in mind, I don't know what Azure's all about. So I was kind of, should I hold back? Because I was kind of, because when I was doing the AW, going back to the AWS again, I'll park that in a second.
All right.
When I was doing the AWS, I went straight for what they call the solutions architect.
Right, okay.
That's like kind of the equivalent to 104, if you don't know. So I was like jumping out the foundation.
Right, you're skipping that.
So yeah, I was skipping that because I was kind of looking over that and thought, you know what, this is not. So I was one of the. So I seen the cloud skills, and they were doing like like $50 or something when you join at the time, and I thought, oh well, when it was $50, only like 30 odd quid.
Yeah,
we're getting a good chance, and then it was like, so I kind of started with that, and then that's and then I seen the AZ 900 on Microsoft Learn at the time. I had one of the skill challenges things. So, in fact, no, it wasn't. It was the time when they had the free vouchers.
Oh yeah.
Unfortunately, they've done away with that sort of thing now. So it was like, I'll go say, well, let me just do the skill challenge type thing on, and I'll go and do my 900. So I went and done my 900, and then I kind of
How much did you learn? How much did you learn doing that?
The
More
900.
than you thought? Aye, more than you thought, or did you think this is pretty straightforward?
It was total different technology from what I was used to, coming straight from like a hardware straight into like kind of cloud. But a lot of the stuff is basically, it was like with VMs and stuff is like, it's just like a kind of, the way I treat it is like someone else's PC type thing.
Yeah.
That's kind of the whole approach to it. I done it. Yeah, I was kind of holding back to go and sit the exams.
Are you trying to do the fundamentals exam and you've not really used Azure at this point?
Yeah,
Or
not even logged on. I never even started I didn't even start my my subscription.
So it's quite difficult when you've not done that, even the fundamentals exam, because there's quite a lot to the 900 exam.
Yeah. It's totally. Yeah, it was a lot. I thought it would kind of be straight. All right, okay, let's just a fundamentals. But
Easy.
it's a fundamentals in the whole roadmap. But it's talking about, if it can still be a tricky exam for someone starting out. It's not a walk in the park. Not a walk in the park. Yeah,
I would agree. There's Ahmed saying AZ 900 was really useful. Everyone should start with it, even if you've got experience. You should still do it. My problem is I'm trying to explain to non-techies.
Yep.
Maybe not non-techies. That's a lot bit harsh. Like the marketing and sales people, like there's the middle section of the exam. When you look at the Microsoft Learn course, is all about networking and what is AVD, and I'm struggling to explain what networking is and AVD to people who are finance people and marketing people.
Yeah.
Especially when I've got an hour to cover the whole part of the exam, and I'm like, this is really difficult. But there's quite a lot to the exam that people don't quite realise, especially if you've never touched Azure.
Yeah, that's the way I explain, and the way I explain to, because I get it all the time. Why do you choose Azure over AWS, and how do you break into the cloud? So the way I explain, when they explain about the VMs, and I say, well, if you imagine your PC in someone else's room, and you're logging, kind of, you've got your kind of login details, and you log into a browser, and your PC's sitting in someone else's house, and kind of try and bring it like right down to the bare minute, and that's the kind of way I explain.
Yeah, I can explain that as well. I try and explain VMs as like someone else's laptop on a browser. Within a browser. Just think about that way.
and some in it, yeah, and the whole the way I describe the whole networking is if you have an envelope and you haven't got a stamp on it, but you've got an address, it's potentially it may not get there
That's a
because you
good
haven't
one.
got
Yeah.
the
Yep.
full address. And basically, networking is just all about making sure you've got all components of the address to get from A to B.
No, that's a good one. I think if you've never done Azure, well, I don't know about you, but I'm a kind of visual learner, so I kind of like thinking of something or even looking at something. So it's hard to explain networking unless you explain it like that to real
Yeah.
world scenarios. Yeah, that's a good one. I might use that.
Yeah,
Might
use
steal
that. You
that.
can, yeah, I haven't
Yeah,
got I haven't got the copyright on that one. Yeah, so you can use it. Yeah,
I have now.
yeah.
So Dimitar was saying that the 900s are good if you want to have a glimpse of what's all of what it's
Yeah.
all about. And then maybe, yeah. What's your thoughts on? Are you going to do more of the fundamentals exams, or was that the only one you've done?
That's the only one. That's the only one I've done. I went through I done your part of the DB 900 on
Yeah.
LinkedIn
All
Learn,
right.
just to kind of more when I
Get
was
some idea.
when I was doing when I was doing the 305, it's more kind of use that as a
Right.
kind of the step in
Yeah.
when I went and done the 305.
Yeah. There's a few people reach out to me and always ask like what to do. I would do as many fundamentals as you can
Mm,
because you learn some good stuff in the fundamentals exams. Plus, you don't need to reset them.
yeah,
You know, like
yeah,
if you're
you've got
interested
that.
in AI, the AI fundamentals is quite good fun. The data fundamentals is good fun. What else is there? There's probably a couple of others I've completely forgotten about, but the fundamentals are worth doing. I always think even if you're like not interested in it, it's still worth doing just to fill in some gaps in your knowledge. Should
Mm.
definitely give them a shout. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got a free test voucher from
Okay.
Build. I think it's for
Okay. Oh
for
yeah.
the AI 900 because obviously
Ah,
the
give that a go.
yeah, the 104 was on that, but I've, as you know, and for anyone knows, I've got the 104.
And how did you? So you did 900. What did you do?
Mhm.
Was it 104 after that?
I done the 104, yeah. So I done the
How did you?
104.
How did you find that? Were you using Azure at the point you started doing that exam, or was it still not?
It's
No.
well, what I did is I did um the 104. What I did is I went through the
Hmm.
plural site with a few of I think Tim Warner did a little bit on
Yeah.
that. And what I would do is kind of listen when I was going to work. So I would
All
have it
right.
on
Okay.
plurals. So I was like using the audio,
Uh-huh.
and then I'd let it all run through. So what I would do the audio, and this is the way I learn now, is do the audio and then go over it again by watching it and then doing a kind of labs. And
Right.
I don't know if you're aware of like Pluralsight. A lot of the stuff you've got your exercise
Uh-huh.
files, and then
Yeah.
I lab it up that way.
It's a
And
good idea.
that's the way I kind of do it.
I
That's the
think you
way I
learn
can.
more from trying it out yourself and just seeing
Mm.
what you can and cannot do.
So I was like using the hours traveling to work is more of kind of rather than maybe a couple of times. And if there's a load of stuff, because there's parts on the 104, because don't get me wrong, the 104 was quite a tough exam.
Uh-huh.
I I
Uh,
I failed it my first time, and
you're not the only
I
one. Maybe
yeah,
a few people say that. Yeah.
yeah, I failed it twice, but the second time I failed it was a bloody changed an answer. I changed
No.
an answer and I could bloody kick myself because
Yes.
and then I bloody got 695. If I didn't change an answer, it was I would have banged on the 700 mark.
700.
Yeah,
But you've got it. You've got it now, though, haven't you?
yeah, I've got it. Yeah, and I've actually done the renewal as well. So
Oh, cool.
yeah, yes, I did the renewal back in what one like the 180 days.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
I was actually counting. I was saying, let me just get that. So I was kind of counting the days. I was about two weeks too early to do it. So I'd done it on the day. I've got it. Yeah, let's do it on that night. So I
So
just
how
mhm,
much time day to day are you doing Azure? You're not doing anything Azure do day to day, no?
not at all. No. So
So you've learned 900, sorry, and 104. That's pretty good going because that's not easy.
no. And I've also learned that I've also did this 305 as well.
Yeah, I mean, Ahmed's got a comment here, and I would agree with it. I
Mm,
think 104 for me is harder than 305 because 305,
yeah.
although it's bigger,
Hmm.
I just thought it was easier. I don't know why I thought it was easier.
Yeah.
I think I struggled with AZ 104. I think 104 is quite tricky.
I think if I did it the other way around, is 305 before I done the 104, I don't think I would have passed
Okay.
first time.
You think
I
you
really
think
don't,
right, okay.
because I think on the 104, that's the ultimate foundation. There's a lot of crossover.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, like when the 305, there's certain stuff that I was struggling on. That's why I reached out to you guys on
Yeah,
databases. So, because
yeah.
I think it's
Because you
due to lack of exposure, because I'm
it
not
will be.
working day in, day out work.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we, and but when I went out, when I did the 305, I was kind of, shall I go for the test? Because I did the 104, I was going to take a break,
Mm-hmm.
and I was chatting to Chris, and he said, "No, just go straight into it because a lot it's an
Yeah.
overlap."
Yeah. Yeah. There's a
And
lot
I
of
went
overlap.
straight, yeah. And then obviously when I was working with yourselves, and I was working with Simon, just doing the bits and bobs, and
Mm-hmm.
that really helped us. And with the databases, because I just wasn't getting the databases till I
Yeah.
reached out to yourself and Lisa.
I didn't realise you hadn't. I thought you were still doing Azure a little bit day to day. I didn't realise when we got
No,
doing that you weren't doing any. So that's quite
no, I
impressive that
wasn't doing.
you've
Yeah,
passed
so
all
I've
that
got,
without you doing it.
yeah, passed them all. But the 305 was, I got quite a high score, and it's I was total surprised myself, and I done it in half the time. But I
No,
think
that's
because it was still fresh
good.
on the
Yeah.
104, so I highly recommend if anyone's doing the 104 and they want to going straight into the 305, just go straight into it. Don't,
Yeah.
because it's
There is
half
quite a
it.
lot of overlap.
Yeah, quite a lot of overlap, and I was quite surprised because I couldn't believe I could all the way to the end of the exam. Considering on the 104, I was literally sweating at the end because I had like
I did.
15 minutes to go, and I still had the test case to go at the
Oh
end.
yeah. Use case thing. Yeah, at the
The
end.
use case thing at the end, yeah. Because the first time I had it at the beginning.
Yeah, I always think they should put the use cases at the start.
Mm,
And when you're thinking going through the questions, like usually you've got maybe 27 questions left, you're thinking, all
mm,
right, okay, it's just multiple choice. Then you get to the end and then a use case pops up. I'm like, like
yeah, time to
no,
go. Yeah, and but
yeah, because you need to know.
yeah,
Yeah,
on my 305, I had it at the beginning, so I
uh
thought,
huh.
oh, yeah, so I got
Yeah,
that
they should put
through,
them
and
at the
then
beginning.
yeah, I
What's
had
your
it at the
thoughts
beginning.
on what's your thoughts on exams where it's just instead of question multiple choice? What's your thoughts on hands-on only? If I said to you the AZ104 and you get an email to say, go and set up this VM with the following, blah, 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 and then you go and do it and get it marked, would you prefer that or would you prefer questions and answers?
Um, I would still do the question and answer, but also I would still have kind of a lab, and even
Hands
if
on,
it's
but
just
yeah.
even if it's just a matter of a drag and drop,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and then just like say like a validate, so you can maybe drag and drop, even if you've got like your architecture. So
Mm-hmm.
then maybe, okay, well, what do you think? There's maybe 4 or 5 pictures or something, and you kind of drag it in. Like they have in GNS3.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know GNS3? I know
Yeah.
you're not. I know you're not a networking guy,
I'm
but
not a networking person, that's for sure.
you can kind of join it up with
Yeah.
like kind of CCNA stuff, and you can map your IP addresses and all that, and then you press like play, and it'll tell you if you've
I've just done it
yeah,
correctly.
if you're
Yeah.
done. That kind of style would
Mm-hmm.
be, rather than, because
Okay.
obviously it's down to like time constraint as well.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
don't want to have like a 3 or 4 hour interview kind of job test for your for like an more. I say on like if you're having like a professional, because I know like the AWS professionals like twice the time is what they want.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. That'd be so much easier. Yeah. Simon's
and
right.
like saying like maybe like if you're going for like a developer, have some sort of developers code thing, and
Mm-hmm.
you can, even if it's just like fill in the blanks, you've got a list of code, and you fill in the blanks to get to X, Y, and Z, like
Right.
scenario based, and fill in
Mm-hmm.
the blanks with no answers. That's sort of stuff. And
Yeah.
mm,
I'd like to see it hands-on only. I'd like to see it
mm,
where it's just you've got to build stuff. I think that would make it
yeah,
harder, but I think it'd be good.
mm,
Ahmed was saying that AZ205 is more of a big picture. I loved it more because I like big picture thinking. Yeah, no, me too. Me too.
mm,
I struggled with AZ104. I even thought the renewals wasn't. I was like, oh, I need to go and read this because I tried to
mm,
do it without reading it. And I just started guessing because there was a couple I didn't know, and I managed to pass it, but I probably shouldn't have.
Yeah, when I done my 104 renewal about 6 weeks ago or something like that, I got a lot of Docker stuff on it. Which I
Which,
kind of
yeah, the thing about you have one tip for anyone doing exams is check. You need to check when it was last updated because normally it's about every 3 months. And I got caught out with that in the DevOps exam where they started asking me about containers and Docker and stuff like that. I was not expecting that in the exam, and I probably failed the beta because of that. Yeah, so you can always go onto the exam page and just check the date. That's worth doing. Shusheta's got a question. Have you done or looked into the AZ 400 designing and implementing DevOps solutions? I'd like to know if this coursework is useful more for developers than for operations. Have you looked at that one at all?
Not the 400, not the
Okay.
400. That's not to say that I wouldn't do it.
I've done it. I would
yeah,
recommend it. I would recommend it. It's weird because it's like every day. Well, not every day. A lot of people think it's Azure DevOps, and it's absolutely not at all.
okay.
It's
My
more.
my my
It's
impression
more.
was Azure DevOps.
No, it's not. And if you don't look into it, it's not Azure DevOps. It's DevOps as a Microsoft solution type thing. It's not Azure
All right,
DevOps at all.
okay.
It's GitHub, it's Actions, it's Jenkins, it's TFS. There's everything thrown in, containers. There's quite a lot in there. You
So
need to
like
be
infrastructure as code type stuff.
yeah, that kind of stuff. Yeah,
Okay,
it's
that'd be
really a good
interesting.
exam, but it's not. You just have to make sure you read the content, and it's not. A lot of people are like, "Oh, it's just Azure DevOps." It's really not Azure DevOps. You need to know a bit about DevOps as a kind of mindset, and DevOps as
Yeah.
a way of doing stuff. It's interesting. Yeah, it's all about processes.
But I think,
Yeah,
and if I'm right enough for the developers, that not the 204 or something? Is that
yeah. Developers 204. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So, said this question again. It's useful for more developers than for operations. I think both dev and ops people could do that exam. I don't think it's really one or the other because maybe developers will set up pipelines and operations will end up looking after it. But I think operations people these days are more the kind of ones that are doing DevOps pipelines as well because there's not really a divide anymore. There's more you know
No.
what I mean? Devs are
Yeah.
doing ops, well, not really ops stuff, but there's more ops people doing dev stuff than there was before, I think, which is good.
That maybe be something that I can set beginning of next year. Got a
Yeah,
couple
worth
of
doing.
yeah, got a couple I want to do before that though.
Ahmed, you just said, "Oh wow, this is news to me." It'd be interesting. What did you mean by that? Did you mean that it's not Azure DevOps? Because it's not just Azure DevOps the product. It's not that at all.
Yeah, that was the kind of impression I was getting.
Yeah,
So
no, it's not.
no.
So I failed the beta because I just assumed that because when the beta comes out, you just get an email or a message saying there's a beta out 2 weeks time. First 300 people to sign up for it gets it free or
Yeah.
$80. So I just signed up for it thinking it was Azure DevOps. I was using Azure DevOps day in, day out. Thought, I'll nail this. Started and it was like, what is TFS 2015 upgrade path? And I was like, what? It's like,
Jesus.
oh yeah, and it's
No.
like Jenkins. You need a Jenkins trigger, and I was like, what? Like Jenkins 10 years ago? Why did they ask me about that? And then it's kind of not Jenkins anymore, but there is some stuff in there that's other products. Other products are involved. So yeah. So what are you doing right now? Are you studying for which exam, or are you studying for an exam right now?
Yeah, I'm currently studying for the 700, the network, the
Networking.
network infrastructure one. Yeah, so I
And
did the I did the Microsoft 30-day skill challenge, and it was the 700. So I did that.
okay, let me just answer this question. We'll come back to your topic. What about the Azure developers? Do you have to be a developer to go for this exam? I'm saying yeah. I'm 80% yes. So again, are you using it day in, day out? No. Are you going to struggle? Yes. So unless you have time to spin up databases, spin up event grid functions, web apps, all that stuff, you're going to struggle. It's kind of you can still pass it. Don't get me wrong, but you need these exams like you're doing the 700, which we'll come back to in 1 second. But
Yeah.
you're going to struggle unless you're setting up Azure networks regularly. I think you know what I mean. I think you will struggle unless you've got hands-on experience. Like
Yeah.
Ahmed, if you're not using event grid, if you're not using functions daily, you're going to get loads of questions on it, and you might struggle.
So is it quite
Yeah,
a broad exam? Yeah.
it's a good exam. I think
Yeah.
the one thing I don't do in my job that I'd like to do more of is development using Azure. There's a lot of cool stuff out there.
Mm.
Functions and event grids and stuff like that are brilliant. They're really, really cool services, and they
Mm.
work together great. And the exam's all about how do you put these together in a
Yeah.
real world project.
Mhm.
So, yeah, right. So you're studying for 700. Are
Mhm.
you doing hands on? Well, have you got an Azure account? Have you got any access
Yeah,
to Azure?
I've got I had a MSDN stroke Visual Studio
Right.
on my last job. I haven't got that now, so I'm using my own subscription now. So I've started doing the lab. So what I did is I did the module, the
The
learning
Microsoft
path.
Learn.
So I done
Mhm.
the Microsoft Learn, the MS 700 on that. And then I entered a competition to win LinkedIn Learn.
Oh yeah, yeah. You won that. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
Awesome.
I won 3 months 3 months license to that. Thank you very much, Gregor.
Oh no, just a quick
So
comment on that.
yeah,
If anyone wants a code for LinkedIn Premium for 3 months, let me know because they run out. They run out before Christmas. So if anyone wants a code, you can go into LinkedIn Learning Premium, and that means you get access to training content, which is what
mm,
you're going to be doing. Yeah,
yeah,
cool.
that's what I'm
Yeah.
doing.
Have you used it yet?
Yeah, I have. Yeah, yeah.
And is it good? What's your thoughts on it?
Um, I did Cal's one, which is
Okay. Well,
fantastic.
Carl's got a course on that. That's
Yeah, it's
helpful. Yeah, yeah.
fantastic. Yeah, yeah.
Brilliant.
He's very posh Irish accent, so he did very well. Yeah,
Nice. Well,
yeah.
let him know.
Yeah, I already told him, but I put a comment in there in his class, so I'm kind of more concentrating on that, just to kind of I did his module, and then I'm currently doing Derek Smith's one. Derek's
Oh,
course is
he's doing that as well, isn't he? Yeah.
yeah, that one of the other modules, and I started
Good.
doing that, and I like both the way that the style. Derek, I really it's really sinking in from what I
Good.
did on
No, that's good.
this then, but also at the same time, I'm using the Pluralsight Tim Warner
Mhm. Yeah, yeah.
305. I'm using that and kind of listening to going to work, and I've got
Good.
like his exercise files. So, and
Oh,
then I've
nice.
got Shabaz's and
All right.
I've got that one to do with all the YouTube one. So that'll be me. I'll sit and watch that when I'm eating my dinner in front of
Good. Good.
YouTube. So yeah, so it's kind of
And are
so yeah.
you gonna try and do hands-on labs and stuff as well?
I'm gonna do that, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you probably need
It's
to for that, to be
yeah,
honest. Yeah.
I need to do that. So the way I'm kinda approaching that is because I do a lot of networking day in, day out, and I'm kind of so just a matter of,
Nothing like a shameless plug. There's no such thing as a shameless plug, Ahmed.
no, not at all. I'm just worth shouting out to the guys that has helped me, and that's all it's about.
Yeah, no, totally,
Because
totally.
and I really this and I keep on saying it's a credit out to the guys, and because it's not hard to put it's not easy to put a training course together.
Well, it's not, and I think the reason why a lot of people want to do it is you actually learn.
Mm,
See, when you're teaching something, you really need to fill in the gaps in your knowledge and try and
mm,
figure out a way to explain something. And
mm,
you try and explain anything, and you're not really sure about it, you learn stuff, you know. So
mm,
there's also learning to just put a course together on anything is quite an interesting. You know,
yeah,
you need to plan it out. You need to think about how to break it down and make sure it makes sense. And this video follows this video, and
mm,
so there's lots of that. But the best part of that for me is being 4 years into going back 4 years and not knowing any
mm,
Azure, and
mm,
now I'm doing courses on it, which is great,
yeah,
and being able
yeah,
to help people like you who are just a wee bit further back in that chain.
yeah,
You know, you're on
yeah,
the ladder, as people call it. You're just further
yeah.
down the ladder a little bit, a couple of steps, but you watch all this and get your exams, and you'll be back up. You know, but you'll be right up there, and it'll
Hopefully
be
that's how big. Yeah, it's not.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's kind of the way I kind of look at it is that it's a data it's on prem in someone else's data center.
Yeah, I mean, if I
So,
had on-prem questions, I would be coming to you. You know what I mean? Because I
yeah,
don't know
so
anything
it's,
about that. So yeah,
yeah.
that's the reason why I network. I like to network, so I know I can
Mm.
always reach out to somebody.
Yeah, that's
Um,
right. That's what I
yep,
said.
yep.
That's what I said to people. A couple of the young guys at work are starting out in the journey, and I says if you get stuck, um, just give me a shout, and if anything I don't know, I've got a few contacts. Says, Jesus,
Yeah.
how come you've got so many contacts? And it says, cause I say about in our little group and all that I'm the T-boy because I'm the only one that hasn't got an MVP. Yeah,
T-boy.
yeah, I'm the
Well, there's always,
T-boy.
once you've done your exams, you can write. To be honest, the first thing I did that helped me on my way to the MVP was I studied for the exams and I wrote blog posts on what I was doing, like what we're
Yeah,
talking about here. The
yeah,
process of how do you study? What do you study? What do you not study? Like try and not waste time doing stuff. Writing all that down helps people.
yeah.
Like I'm giving back by doing courses on YouTube stuff on Azure networking. That's awesome. It's also
Yes.
good fun to give back.
Yeah, definitely. That's all I'm about now. I'm at a stage now that I can give back,
Mm-hmm.
not
Awesome.
not always take.
Oh
Yeah, so
no, well, people
so
don't. Yeah,
no,
I know what you mean. Yeah, but I don't see it's take. But yeah, I get what you mean.
yeah,
So, 27 years in IT.
yeah.
What's been the most enjoyable part of your career? Is this when you're learning the most, or what do you think?
Literally, when I started in IT, I didn't literally know what a computer was way back
I
in
know the feeling.
way back in 1997. So
Run
I
about
was
the same time as me. You must be about the
um,
same age as me, but we'll not talk ages, but you must be running about the same age as me.
I'm older than you, Gregor.
Oh, good. I was hoping you'd say that. I teed you up for that one.
Yeah, look, see my grey hairs, yeah.
Let's not compare grey hair. I'm grey all over.
Yeah, so I've been kind of all my career I've been like a hardware. If it's broken, I fix it.
And what's the goal? Are you want a job in Azure long term? Is that where you're heading?
Yeah,
What's the goal? Is that the
yeah,
goal?
be an architect, go out and kind of
Architect.
yeah. I'm a kind of people person. I'll listen, go in. I can walk into an office and
Architect or
but
something.
yeah, and yeah, get a solution down and advise and
So your AZ700, how long have you been on that for? And are you
oh, what
nearly
we on
there, or still got a bit to go?
beginning July.
July. Okay, so this is what the start of
This is
August,
like
right?
say I would say this is like say week 6 if it's
Okay.
work it out.
And
So
how
I'm
long do you
kind
think you've got left?
of I'm hoping to get it done by say middle of September.
I was going to say middle of September. Yeah,
Mm,
because it takes a wee while to learn that stuff.
yeah,
You do need to do hands on though.
yeah, that's what I'm gonna do in the
Yeah, I mean
hands-on one.
you can read about things like private endpoints and stuff like that, but you're better
Mm,
off just playing with it and making sure you get it working. You know
yeah,
what I
the
mean?
lot. Yeah, like
Yeah.
Derek's course is a whole load of um good exercises in there, and the link to the GitHub. So I've
Mhm.
fought to GitHub.
Good.
So there's like
Good.
about 20 stuff, and if anyone on here's got any good resources, just fire them over to me.
Yeah, I'll
This,
send you a
this,
couple as
yeah,
well.
this, yeah.
There's
I'd,
like
I'd,
actually, if you just Google GitHub, right? I think it's GitHub
mm,
AZ700. Like a yeah, here it's here.
mm.
I'll put it in the chat actually. I haven't looked at this myself for a wee while, but this. Oh, I've just put it in the wrong bit. It's okay. Let me just add a banner. That there. So if you go to github.com/Microsoft Learning, right, and then just
Mhm.
add like AZ dash something, this is a really good website because it's like their website for all the exams. So it's like,
Interesting.
yeah, they've got like,
Remember they had the 104, but then that get took down or something for a minute. None of the labs is still up there.
I don't think the labs are there anymore. Yeah, I think they're
Yeah.
moving it. I think they've moved it from
Mm,
the docs to the Microsoft Learn. But yeah, I've not really checked that site, but the exercises are there. So there's like
mm.
8 different exercises that are quite good. Definitely have a look at them if you can.
Because I said after I done my 305, I thought, you know what, I'm going to take a break over the summer because last summer I was all about my 104,
Right, aye.
and and
Yes.
and I've said, you know what, next summer I'm gonna have the summer off.
No,
But
that's a good idea because
yeah,
I think my problem is I went one after the other, and by the time I
mm,
got to the end of them, I was burnt out. I was just fed up with the exams. I should have taken gaps, especially in the summer. Go out and enjoy the summer. Don't sit and study all the time.
Well, that's why I've started studying, because this summer's been rubbish. So that apart from June, that's
Well,
kind of, if I'm indoors, I've kind of got my. I'm pretty much go to work, come home Monday to Friday.
mhm,
I don't watch any TV. It's all
okay.
about I do my learning.
Learning. Oh, that's good.
I do
Yeah,
my
good for
learning
you.
because
Yeah.
when I first started doing my learning, and maybe a tip for everyone, what I did when I first, it's like, oh, I've not got 2 hours to do. I haven't got a spare 2 hours. But what's
Mhm.
to say it's 2 hours? It's like you start with 10 minutes, 15 minutes,
Mhm.
20 minutes, and
Yeah,
all
yeah.
that. And I started using the Pomodoro.
Oh, aye. Yeah, yeah.
That's why I started doing the learning. I did 10 minutes,
So,
15 minutes. And before I started doing my learning, I did like a week. What does a week look like
mhm.
after work? And I wrote down absolutely everything. Come home, put Sky Sports News on, watch it on the light for 2 hours, do this, do that. And I wrote
Yeah.
everything down to like
Mhm.
that
So
period.
you could see what you were spending time
And I
on.
said, yeah, and I said, you know what can I take out here? It would but to do learning, because
Mhm.
I can't do
Both.
what I'm
Yeah.
doing both,
Yeah, yeah.
because
Not
there's
enough
not
time.
enough. Yeah, and
Yep.
you need to sleep as well,
You
because
just need to do what Arnie says and sleep faster.
yeah, I mean, I was out being a service engineer, and I was driving from A to B to maybe sometimes between 200 and 300 miles a day.
Wow.
So
So
covering
yeah.
like down the south coast. So I was kind of, and then try to do your learning as well. So a lot of the kind of time when I first started doing was in my van driving from A to B, and
See,
kind
look,
of,
you're inspiring people.
oh, well, that's all it's about. You can just,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, I'm only a phone call away. So if you need any help or anything,
Yeah. I
I,
noticed you're on your LinkedIn, you've got your mobile on it. I don't know if that's a
have
good
I?
idea.
Yes,
I'd maybe
I've,
take that off.
I didn't realise I've got it on there. That's probably
Just in case you get any random calls
I
3 in the
did get
morning.
I did get random calls. But yeah,
That that'd be life.
that's probably why. Is this a Chinese? Can I lay on an order, please?
I'm gonna phone in a minute just to see if it still works.
Yeah, I'll probably block you there. But yeah, so I'm out to, and then just now I do a kind of mentoring program.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you, that was my next
Hmm?
bullet point, mentoring.
Oh,
Talk
look,
to me about that.
fantastic. Yeah, yeah.
Talk to me about
Um, so what's during my when I done my 104, I thought, in fact, no, just before my 102, 104, I was getting into a little bit of a rut, and it's like, oh, I'll do it tomorrow, I'll do it,
that. Oh,
and
yeah.
kind of, yeah, that's kind of
We've all been
getting
there.
motivated. Everybody's kind of, yeah, it's like, so I joined a kind of boot camp out the States, so I kind of paid for a boot camp and joined a boot camp. It's called Go Cloud Careers. So they've
I
got
saw
like a
that.
lot of free resources on YouTube.
Mhm.
So it's more like someone breaking into IT. So there's a lot of stuff I do learn. So they learn your interview skills and
Alright, cool.
bits, and there was like an Azure, AWS, VMware, a load of other stuff on there for like architect, and I'm on the like cloud engineers program, so I kind of
Alright.
smash through that, and then what I find is a lot of the and the one in the Slack channels there was one for UK, so it was like it was getting no
Mhm.
friction.
Okay.
So a lot of the classes is in US time, but you can go
Alright,
back
okay.
and record. So I
Mhm.
kind of reached out to people. Oh, what about I start one on a Saturday, and I'll do the lead.
Ah, that's cool.
So I started that back in March. So I've
Oh,
got
nice.
about 18 people on it.
And you're mentoring then?
I'm mentoring them, yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Amazing. I didn't know you
Yeah,
were doing
so
that.
yeah, yeah. So it's
What,
kind
every
of a
Saturday?
every Saturday from half
Oh,
past one to half past three.
ah, that's awesome.
So what I do is with the students is get them kind of um, it's like an open book, whatever you
Mhm.
want to talk about. And the way I'm approaching it is stuff you don't learn on exams,
Mhm.
um, stuff you're not learning on the program. But this is more of a kind of enclosed group.
Right, right.
So it's people that's in the program, um, they're finding struggle on,
Mhm.
and then doing them. So I've done a lecture on SD-WAN, I've done a lecture on Agile, like because I do and kind
Yeah.
of and the types of so I'm kind of trying to so they're not when they do go and get a job,
Yeah, they've got some idea.
some
Yeah.
of idea and kind of
Mhm.
and then if they want to present, if they want to
Oh, the
present like a small group to get their
that's cool.
confidence,
Oh, that's awesome.
then I've said to them, if you want to do it in tech, do it in tech. If you want to do it on something, your hobbies, it's just a matter of getting out there and talking to a group and
Mhm.
building up your confidence. And
Yeah,
there's
that's
one,
all a good idea.
yeah. So and there's some. So I've got one from Canada, couple from the States, and one from Nigeria.
Oh, nice.
So it's good, and then there's a few from the UK.
Well, how
They're
you
kind of
enjoying doing
on.
that? That must be great fun.
I love it. I love it. I'm getting a lot of, and I'm seeing people coming on. It's at the beginning. It was me doing the talking, and it's like because a lot of people coming out,
Yeah,
and
figuring
I'm
out
just
who
yeah, and it's kind of shy cameras not switched on, and now it's
Yeah.
everyone's everyone's got their camera on,
Oh, that's good.
and they're kind of and it's like the way I've got it now because everyone wants to talk,
Mhm.
so I've kind of brought it in now. Is I don't want to be like the teacher. Ooh, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, no.
yeah. So everyone
Please stop
can,
this week.
yeah. So it's like the way I've kind of done it is like the first 20 minutes we'll do kind of right. What you've been? How's your week? And if there's new people join, because I always get people in and out, in and out. And the way I've said, if there's a new person come in, I'll get them to do an intro, and then I kind of do and I rather than me tell them what the user group's all about, I get one of
Mhm.
the one of
Oh,
the
that's
g-
good.
one of the other and just pick them random. Can
Oh,
you
that's good.
can you rather than me do all the talking for like an hour? So obviously Teams has got your restriction to like 1 hour. And then
Mhm.
and then we cut off, and then if people want to join in, we do that. So yeah, I've been doing that since March. And what I've done now, one of the guys who's come on, he's ex-service. He's ex-service. He so he reached out to me, say, Scott, do you fancy doing another one? So
Oh,
I've
nice.
started another one, but this is more for ex-military.
Oh, that's amazing.
So I've started this is so it's not I'll do it on a Monday night.
Uh-huh.
Um from 6:30 to 7:30, but I've said I've got this great opportunity to do this tonight. So
Ah,
yeah, so I was kind of want to do some for like ex vets to push out. So I've got 6 people on that, all
that's awesome.
ex-military.
Is that
So
in the
kind of
UK or is that all over? Where are these guys from?
these guys are ex-military. They've been out in the military. They work in telecoms, doing the analog side, but they know that over time that all the telecoms company are all gone broadband now. So they want to kind of upskilling.
Ah, okay.
So the way I've approached it with them is, what do you want to do? But whatever you want to do, if it's Azure, AWS, GCP, you've got to know the fundamentals first.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then my first one with them is go and do go and look at AZ 900. You don't sign up for the portal straight away.
Mhm.
Just have a look at 900. You've got John Saville's AZ 900 course.
Yeah.
Um, just go on and do that and have a look at his master series, John Saville, because I'm
That's
forever
brilliant.
going back. I'm forever going back to his master series because it's
Same.
free. It's free,
Yeah, yeah, I'm on his YouTube
and
every day near enough.
yeah, and
So,
it's that
he's
that guy
he's a
is
legend.
the yeah is and I'm learning, and they said it'll be uphill, and there's a lot, and yeah, I like just helping everyone out, Greg. I really do.
Ah, you're a
It's
star dude. Yeah,
honestly, I
you are
really
an
do.
MVP.
I
Yeah,
just
that's what an MVP is all about, that kind of thing. People think an
that's
MVP is all about working with the Microsoft teams and all that. I think it's not. I think it's doing exactly what you've just talked about,
that's
helping
that's what I
people.
want to do. Yeah, and I'm a
Yeah.
kind of going to doing my cloud work. I came away from being a SME and printers, the pink elephant in IT.
So wait. You've just come on here and told everybody that you fix
Yep.
printers. I've got your mobile number. I can
Yeah, you give my mum. Yeah, I've still to help your mum out as well.
Does anyone need a printer fixed?
Yeah, I'm the man. Yes, I was kind of the SME for a high level government contract, looking after worldwide all the engineers. So I left that
Oh, nice.
to to go to be a cloud. That's how much how.
Oh,
So
brilliant.
I've been top of the tree to get down to the bottom and gradually
On
climbing
the way
up
back
this
up.
tree again. Yeah. So
That's
it's
awesome.
yeah. So
Good.
yeah.
Now
So
that's an
that's
amazing story. Yeah,
yeah.
cool. Let me just say hello to Rodrigo, who's joined us from Cordoba, which is in Argentina.
Oh,
Hi,
fantastic.
Rodrigo.
Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah, nice to see you. Dimitar, and I said Dimitri there. Dimitar and Ahmed, thanks for joining. As always, you guys are awesome. Right, what else was I going to ask you about? You've been on holiday recently. Did I not see you were in Aruba recently?
Yeah. I went to Aruba. Yeah. I was like kind of.
Was that
I like
last
to.
month?
That was during my birthday. That was the end of April, beginning of May. I like to go away at that time of the year and come back and
Uh,
show off my suntan on my Scottish redness, the
yeah,
Scottish redness. So
not
I went
got
to
the
Aruba.
right thing.
Yes, I thought let's go. I've done a fair bit of the Caribbean. I thought let me go as far south of the Caribbean as possible. There'll be
Nice.
I went down. It was fantastic, but I'm thinking I'll go down there and there'll be a kind of a mixture of various, because I thought it'd be a lot. Because if anyone doesn't know, Aruba is 26 miles off the coast of Venezuela at the top end of South America.
I'm glad you said
It's
that
like
because I was going to ask you
way,
about
way,
that.
but it's a way, it's a way down, and I thought they'll let me go. There'll be a kind of mixture of South Americans, Americans, Canadian, but it's solely in American hands. It's far down the
Okay.
bottom end of the Caribbean. So
Ah,
yes, but that was very good. Yeah, so I kind of try and do that now, and then do my family out into Germany. So I was
good.
over there in the blazing heat of June. So yeah,
Oh, I can
yeah.
imagine what the heat was like there.
No, Germany was hot. That was like 37 when I was back there
Uh,
in beginning of July. So I
so,
did. Mhm.
what if you're? Have you got any? Have you got a blog? I couldn't see a blog. Have
No,
you
I
not got?
haven't blogged it. No, that's something I
Why have you
want
not
to do.
blogged? Is it something you
I
want to
know.
do?
I really want to want to do a lot of like do the teaching and
Have you got time
blogging,
for
and
that stuff? Because it sounds like you're doing quite a lot.
you'll always make time, Gregor.
Well,
You'll
this is true.
always,
This is true.
you'll
Yeah,
always kind of make time.
you should definitely start a blog if you can.
Yeah, I'm at the got a start point. I
Mm-hmm.
think the start point is if I can
Well, yeah,
get. So I really need to like look at a couple of people's blogs and get a start point,
yeah.
and then
Maybe finish your EZ 700 first, and then
yeah,
give me a
that's
shout
kind
once
of
you've finished that, and we'll talk.
yeah,
And we can maybe set up a blog for you. Get that
yeah,
up and running.
yeah. But
Good stuff.
I'm more kind of interested. I really want to do a collaboration with someone, and
Mm-hmm.
if it's like a YouTube series or if it's like a
Okay.
blog series with one of the more kind of senior stroke community members
You should
and
start doing. I know it's just finished, but you should start doing things like Azure Back to School and stuff like that.
yeah, that's coming up in a couple of weeks, isn't it? The back to school
Yeah,
one, isn't that? Yeah.
I think it's just finished the submissions, but the next one comes up, I'll give you a shout and we can do something together.
Mm. Well,
Let's start doing
there's
that.
seamless plug for the Christmas tech.
You know, yeah, the festive tech calendar, that
Hmm.
not started planning on that, but that'll definitely be coming up in December again.
Yeah, when you do that, it's just a matter of trying to find something that's not too
There's nothing.
basic, but
That's
yeah,
the thing.
it's
You shouldn't think like that. That might
mm,
be basic for you, but it's not basic for some people who are just like the vets
yeah,
wouldn't find it basic. You know what I mean? There's always
yeah,
somebody at a level that needs that stuff. So
yeah. That's what kind of so that's kind of what I'm like. That would be fantastic to do that sort of stuff and get me.
yeah, it's like landing zone. Start small and then
Mm,
expand. Exactly. That's a good way
yeah,
of putting it. Yeah. Yeah, the advent calendar, yeah, we've kind of rebranded it to the I always forget the name, festive tech calendar.
festive
But yeah,
tech. Yeah,
we need to
so
do that.
that's
If anyone's got any ideas on charities, I need a list of charities that we can think about doing this for. I haven't really thought. Last year I was thinking about one, and an email popped in about a charity, and I was like, that'll do. So
mm,
um, we're going to try and raise some money for charity again this year, I think. Yeah, hybrid user group events. Yes, we'll start getting. What you ever thought about doing speaking, or is blog first? Is there kind of a roadmap you want to go on? Or
yeah,
AZ 700 first. What's after that?
yeah. Um,
Blog
blog, and I want to do the security. I think that's really important as well.
500. 500.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
I really need from what direction I want to go, and I think
Do you know what
security.
direction you want to go, or are you just kind of doing the exams and trying to figure it from there? Because not
Um,
everybody knows what they want to do.
no, I just want to get more involved with Azure as such, and then kind of,
Figure it out from there.
yeah, kind of figure out is there. and it's my in my line of business, so it's kind of it's I can't really
Need to do
talk.
security.
Yeah, because of the type of industry I'm in.
There's not.
It's a
The
bit of
security
a
exam is quite a big exam, by the way. It's not a small exam. There's a lot. I'm writing a study guide for it just now, for something else, and it's pretty big. There's a lot in it. There's a lot more in it in terms of bullet points on the web page than there are on the other exams. A lot more.
Yeah, definitely. I think I really need to do it. I think that's one of my, and then that'll be kind of
Well, maybe do 700 and then 500 and then give me a shout and we'll do a blog. So there's no rush, even if it's next year.
hopefully, if all goes well, I want to hopefully have the two of them done by the end of the year. Hopefully,
take your time,
kind of no pressure. It's like kind of one of my kind of personal goals, but all this is not relation in my work. My company hasn't turned around and said to me, "Okay, you've got to do this, this, and this." It's all about personal development. Yeah, that's
What's the best part of your current job?
The best part, getting my hands dirty with on-prem stuff.
And do you not want to get a job where you're on your hands dirty on Azure?
Yeah, I want to do. Yeah,
long-term goal.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. That's not that far away, I don't think. Especially if you've got 700. Well, if you get 900, 104, 700, you're well on your way to doing that.
Yeah, just the whole experience stuff in it. That's what you get. When you get you've got no experience, but you've got I've done X, Y, and Z on-prem, but you haven't got the experience of.
Yeah, that's the hard part.
That's the hurdle you're getting to in it. It's just getting the whole thing. But and my work they do Azure Stack Hub, so so they got I kind of have my ear in there, but so I'm kind of try and help them a lot about with that because these guys haven't got the Azure certs, so they're doing the Azure Stack Hub. But we're moving over to VCF, which is the VMware Cloud.
Okay.
So we're doing a migration of that soon, because obviously we can't be in the cloud.
Yeah, that's true.
If you can read between the lines, it's what I do, but obviously I can't.
Yeah, you work in a line of business that you can't really share about because it's
unfortunately I've sorry, I didn't hear you.
Yeah, top secret. We're not allowed to talk about where you work.
Yeah, that's kind of so that's just so just the kind of I've got the enthusiasm and that. It's just
I mean that's the best skills you can have in my view. Enthusiasm
right,
and the will to do stuff. So good for you.
Just doing that, and it's joining, helping out. That's where I kind of want to go in here, but this is the first ever kind of
time you've been on chatting about it.
Yeah, on this sort of, I've never done like a podcast or nothing like that before. You're the first.
Good. I'm glad you're on. I'm glad we got you on. I hope you're not too nervous. It's quite nervous.
No, I'm actually not. Well, I'm all right because I've went through my other stuff, but it was more like when after Simon's, he said, "So when you going to be doing it?"
Sorry, he's got to dress up as a dinosaur, so he's panicking about something else.
I would love to be there, but I would love to have been going to Prague.
Yeah, it would be good fun.
Maybe next year. I'm going to South Coast Summit, so again.
Oh, are you? When is that? Is that September?
October.
I get my month.
Yeah, so I've jumped doing that. That's quite local for me, so I'm like an hour away. So
is it moved to Farnborough? Is that right?
Farnborough, yeah, that's
not far.
That's one of the DCs, but so I might have jumped down there. I may not go down on the Friday this. I'll just jump down on the Saturday. It's only like an hour and 10 minutes for me. It's roughly the same to Farnborough as what it is to Southampton. When I went to South Coast Summit, that was quite good. Because I love to do the Microsoft ones in London, but it's during the week.
So you can't get time.
That's one of the only snags. I'd like to go and maybe jump into one of the mic. And Reading, the Reading office for me, Microsoft is on my doorstep as such.
But is it?
The Reading office is like 40 minutes away as such.
That's not bad.
Yeah, so quite central from that. Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, Scott, thanks for coming on. It's been awesome. I wasn't really sure what we're going to talk about because you said let's talk about your career.
I've not even taught half of it, and that's another.
I know. That's what we've run out of time, unfortunately. Not to
Run out
worry.
of time, yeah. Not to rhyme,
Not
run
to
out of
worry.
time, yeah.
Yeah, just before we go, tomorrow I've got a guy called Samson Imogo on, who's a Microsoft MVP. He's an MCT. He's joining me from Nigeria on the stream. So we're going to chat about software engineering.
Good.
His name popped up on LinkedIn about being awarded some award for like being LinkedIn, not LinkedIn, Microsoft Learn top content editor or something like that. He was answering lots of questions for people, so I thought that'd be an interesting person to come on. So
Yeah,
he's on tomorrow at
definitely,
7.
yeah. Mhm.
And then at 8:30, Luke Murray might be on. His wife's not too well at the moment, so I hope his wife's okay. So he might be on. I don't know. I'll need to reach out to him. But
Yeah.
if Luke's coming on, then he's joining us from New Zealand, and we'll be chatting all about Azure and all the stuff he's been up to. So he might be on. I'm hoping his wife's all right. And but tomorrow, him being on or not, it's not important. So hopefully his wife's okay, and we'll find out tomorrow if he's on. Scott, thank you very much. I'm just
No
going to play a
problem
wee
at all.
cheerio video. Yeah, thanks everyone for joining, as always. If anybody's watching on YouTube and you haven't subscribed, please subscribe and hit the like
Definitely,
button.
yeah.
Yeah, and all that jazz, and the wee bell icon and all that good stuff. So let me just, before we go, let's just put on that Scott's Twitter account if you want to reach out to him on Twitter, and his LinkedIn is that one there.
Yeah, I'm trying to get to 1,000. I'm at 800
on,
and some.
on Twitter, is that? You're on 800 on Twitter, are you?
Yeah.
Hey, I'll put a wee tweet out and see if we can get you to 900 by the end of the week. Right, we'll see
Yeah,
what we can do.
I'm not bothered anyway. Just like,
I'm not bothered, but it'd be nice. Thanks everyone for
yeah,
joining.
no problem. All
I'll
the
play.
best, guys.
Yeah, cheers for now. Bye
See ya.
bye. Bye.